Okay, fiat currencies of value. Listen, are we storing the value in the fiat currencies? What are we doing? Welcome to the show. My name is The Schiller. Doing things a little bit later today. Hope that it works with your schedule. Maybe you're out having a good time on your Friday and you're watching this at a different point. Hello to you. Today, there's a lot to go over. I think I've speculated and found a connection between VeeFriends and something Futureverse is doing. So we're going to get into that and some other kind of... I think I found a VeeFriend shoe at a local Winners. It's kind of crazy. We got some updates from the ApeCoin DAO. What exactly does that mean? Well, one of its most prominent members is not running for re-election. So what exactly does that mean? Do we think, that's it for the DAO? Nobody wants to work with them? What's the thoughts overall? Of course, we got your general news going on and a little bit of Top Shot talk, taking things to an interesting point. If you guys are excited for this, maybe give it a share, give it a like. It's going to be a fun time. All right, enough with the music. Let's get into it. Immediately, Doodles Space Mission Season 1 unlocked. If you haven't seen, apparently Doodles got a bunch of land free from Futureverse if they launch their Space Doodle into space. Now, to go backtracking a little bit, Cool Cats, Dead Fellas, a couple different collections have gotten this land that is now being, encompassing a whole bunch of collections. So this talk of an open metaverse, this talk of all of the projects and NFTs overall working together, is that something that we're actually going to finally see? Now, there's a little bit of a barrier with this, right? Like, it's not something that's too easy within the Doodle announcement itself. It basically says, like, hey, if you've partaken in this event you're going to get this Rainbowtopia, right? And you need to go to... create a future pass, in which point then you can claim, or you'll have your NFT land in your wallet, but there's an Ethereum address and then there's a future pass address. And to sell that doodle land, you need to transfer it to your Futureverse pass, but you will need to have a little bit of XRP or Root or any of the gas token to use that. So it's not easy. It's not easy. Billy, what's going on? Can we still get prisms? You can't get them on the secondary market. And I don't think they're like insanely more expensive than the original mint, because at the time when it sold, Root was at like 9-10 cents and now it's at about 5 cents. So there was some questions within the holders chat of the Discord, and people were asking like, okay, like, why is it that we waited to explain to Doodles like how this is, or unveiling? And it was okay, they wanted to set up, have the space mission. I guess they wanted to time it that way. But at the same notion, if people that were getting into Doodles initially were thinking, hey, I want to yeah, hold on, I totally lost my train of thought here. The land, holy sugar. But yeah, so for the marketplace, you have to list, and it's a little bit confusing. People are figuring out, but basically it's a big free drop. And so all these holders that were a part of that has gotten this drop, and it's mainly the Futureverse community that's buying it. And the reason for that is because there's a whole bunch of Root token that's up for grabs for that. So in the past, it's always been about, hey, buy this NFT and you will get token allocation. And now this is getting taken to a whole new level through the Third Kingdom. So if there is anybody that has questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to help with that. And if doodles are very useful within this game, we're going to need that. And I think a lot of people within the Futureverse community do want to grab those lands. So if you're needing help selling that, let me know. Now, Silo highlighted a hell of a lot, but what's more interesting is the fact of what's going to be running on that protocol. And Futureverse is highlighting how they have a whole bunch of the Bored Ape avatars ready to go. Mine's actually in there. If you see the zombie, I'll try to pause it here in a second when it shows up. We got a silver. I think that's Dorkgod. There I am. There's Biz. So it shows, hey, these guys are actually pretty far ahead. And I'm not sure if these are like the AI program renders from Futureverse, or if this was something that they had made previously, because the rumor was all, oh yeah, like we've had like Bored Ape avatars ready to go for a while. I don't know if it's their AI tech or what, but this is where we're starting to see collections not having like I hate you, this is garbage, we're not on the same page. It's the metaverse, everybody's here wanting to be online and hanging out. Now, to use kind of a weird reference from in person, I was at a hockey game today and the away team made the trip, and there was a ton of fans for this game because they had to get into the playoffs. And it's weird because it's like, you kind of hate the other people that are on the other, cheering for the other team. But at the same time, it's like, no, it's exactly you that's loving something. But you go on Twitter every day and it's the friggin' negative Nancy 90% of the time. It's ridiculous. Anyway, excited to see what this whole open metaverse is going to look like. Some news coming from Legends of Mara and Heavy Metal. Blur is back. So if you haven't heard, basically Yuga Labs sold their recent game IPs, Heavy Metal and Legends of Mara, to Faraway. And Faraway is like, hey, we're taking this over and going to make things really cool. And their first line of business is to remove the block for trading on OpenSea and Blur, because obviously everything for Yuga, they tried putting on Magic Eden. A lot of people complained about how the liquidity is completely gone, et cetera, et cetera. So that is a huge move. 6/5/24. Smiles is saying this. Haven't seen the Smiles account in a little bit of a minute. These were a really hyped up collection originally. I've always thought the art was cool. The founder was cool, but it looks like something maybe is coming that is kind of spicy. So looking forward to seeing what is coming from Smiles. All right. Now, I haven't looked at NBA Top Shot too much, but I saw this tweet and says, if it takes 30 tweets to explain your product, it's a failure. And I'm like, okay, what are we fudding today, right? And so the first tweet from Jacob here says, the NBA playoffs are here and we couldn't be more excited to share our latest campaign with the community. Now, there are a lot of dimensions to this campaign that I'd like to take an opportunity to discuss, okay? And then I started scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I'm like, oh my, there's actually a lot to go into this. Now, obviously you can break it down, but it's funny that things are getting more, I guess, complicated in every section, right? Where teams are trying to do something that's cooler for the super fans that really get into it and really understand it, right? In every community, there's kind of that. And it's funny that now all the complaints are like, Top Shot's too confusing, this is insane, yada, yada, yada. And one of the big complaints was the pricing. And so this other person named Jacob says, so at NBA Top Shot is tactically admitting, maybe technically, if that's what they try to spell, admitting their pricing is completely arbitrary. Eisenberg posted a whole thread about why the price was what it was. So that was just made up rationalizing a horribly priced pack and playoff system to assuage complaints. Awful look, in my opinion. So every community right now has an insane amount of negativity and FUD to it, right? Like, it is non-exclusive to whatever you're in, because it just feels like everything that's within the NFT space is kind of like that. Of course, then you see other things that are like not related to NFTs, and it's totally fine, but I guess that's just what we do, baby. All right, so the ApeCoin DAO, Captain Trippy, the beloved Captain Trippy. I thought this graphic was amazing. Wish we saw more of these kind of like animations and things from these collections, because I don't know, I just think they look cool. Anyway, he's not running for re-election, and so the question's always like, okay, so these are huge personalities that really wanted these positions initially. What's kind of going on? Always curious thoughts, so here's what he had to say. I admit that early on I was a skeptic of the working groups, even though I voted for them to pass. Over time, I've seen groups go from seemingly struggle to get some momentum to surprising me on a regular basis what they are both working on and accomplishing. Regarding the state of the DAO, I believe we are currently in the strongest place we have ever been and have a very solid foundation both structurally and creatively to work off of. That is thanks to a lot of behind the scenes by people in the past and present, the time and work of which we never fully appreciated. There are numerous big initiatives voted on and passed by the AIP process that lay out the foundation for what's next. ApeChain and F1 come to mind as two that are very big deals for us as an ecosystem to build off of. In short, ApeCoin DAO is really starting to hit her stride. I'm truly excited for the future and thankful to play a small part, and then a couple other things. But okay, there we go. We have an update on the ApeCoin DAO. They think things are in a really good spot, says Captain Trippy. And their two biggest things, I guess, from the past tenure is them saying the F1 partnership that they have with ApeChain or ApeCoin more specifically, and then the fact that they are going ahead and doing an ApeChain, which I feel like a lot of people thought that was in the works for a while. It wasn't really that. D's saying study crypto skulls. Do you know what a crypto skull is? Look at this chart. At one point, these things were going for 2.5 ETH average. 2.5 ETH. Do you guys know how much money that is right? Do you know how many pizzas that is right now? Papa John's XL. Double pepperoni, meatball. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Anywho, on OpenSea here, we can see now that they're at 0.08. But what was all the hype about? Let me go over this and then we'll kind of retrace. So crypto skulls are made of 10,000 collectible ERC-721 non-fungible tokens stored on Ethereum. Crypto Skulls first launched in 2019 and is widely believed Crypto Skulls was the second ever 10,000 supply profile picture collection to launch following CryptoPunks. Okay, guys, so not only do we have everybody saying we're the first in this exclusively niche category, every day we're saying that we are the first launch in 2019, but we're the second ever 10,000 PFP, so it's valuable. And I don't know what the hell's going on, but back in the day, I think it was Gary V that highlighted, here's the research you need to do, and all of a sudden, these things just went flying. I feel like there was also part of the story where the founder had like an extra 100 plus that they never minted, or they had, and then they did that, and when it ran, they sold like 100 into this massive bid, and people were pissed off about the founder, and I'm like, you don't get this anywhere else except the blockchain. It's great. Okay, Nifty Island. Guys, I was so into Nifty Island, and I haven't played it like in a while. It is what it is. But anyway, there was over 9,000 Bloom rewards minted. Obviously, it had a bunch of different collections if you're familiar, but if not, there was some collections that were kind of like a part of this where you were able to mint, where we have the Rug Radio you can see within there. That's kind of like an ode to Pepe. We have a Pudgy Penguin Igloo. We have, I think this is like a D-Gods thing with the D Panther, and then the Ape Treehouse for obviously Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. And then Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they highlighted how many mints happened within each thing. And I thought this was very interesting because it's like, the bigger IP, you think that they would have more minted. So in 10th place was Pudgy Penguins with 499. And remember, it was anybody that could go and play within Nifty Island and then mint these, so it doesn't have to be like collection holders. But 9th place with 502 was the Pepe Monolith. 8th was the Unicenter, which I'm not really familiar with that is, but 506 minted. I'm just going to jump ahead here and see what we got within the top 3. So Yield Guild, the YGG layer. I don't know if that one necessarily looks better than any of the other ones, but okay. Second place, the Schiller Space. Yeah, not bad. Not the correct spelling. Okay, that's another thing. Guys, okay. If you're in the Futureverse community, we got to have a talk. If you're... There we go. If you're in the Futureverse community and you see the guy that's at the Shellverse and he's doing the root punks, that's not me, okay? There is a C in all of my names. There's Schiller, like S-H-I-L-L, right? Like Shill. And then there's S-C-H-I-L-L, which is Shill, right? You know what I mean? So just to be abundantly clear, that's the difference. It's not me. But, hey, there he is. There he is in the chat. My man, Shellverse. How the hell are you? That's amazing. All right. And then number 1, the base Temple 787 mints. I have no idea what collection that was. And for the least minted, it was the D-Gods one with 61. But still kind of cool that they had that. Okay. There is like this weird thing where I think we have to check if everybody's ill. I'm the doctor because what the hell's going on? You are getting paid to buy NFTs. You are getting paid to buy. Imagine saying that a few years ago. Guild Guardians, Commanders, act fast. Purchase and sacrifice a prayer at the altar to receive an Epic Idol NFT and 10 IMX. So I'm like, is this something that they're trying to say, hey, use fiat currency and then you get crypto on this extra thing? Are you using IMX and then you'll get that back? So yeah, $18 UST, 159 USDC. Very interesting here that they're doing things priced in USDC and not within their GOG token. Always keep an eye on like how those ecosystems are playing those different things because, when there's a sale, in that kind of category, it kind of makes you think like, okay, so is the team then doing the sale because they want to like get that money and then sell it, and they don't want to like do it in their own token to like dump it on the market? You know what I mean? Like there's this awkward back in space. You can't escape. Shillverse is coming for you. Blocks TRUUE. Okay, this is kind of an interesting, man, listen, borderline conspiracy theory? Yeah, not really, but I thought this was an interesting take, so let me do with this again. Always use your own thoughts when going through this. The volatility in Bitcoin is not due to spot buying and selling of Bitcoin. Stop this narrative. It is because of the extreme leverage markets gambling on the direction on unregulated crypto exchanges worldwide, mostly on Binance, which again, we've seen across the globe a lot of issues with Binance, again, across the globe. So that would kind of make sense, I think. The price is manipulated to flush these levered positions long and short. The extreme dives and peaks are caused by liquidation laddering. When a long position is liquidated, it forces a market sell on the exchange, which causes deeper positions to liquidate, and this continues to ladder, causing the extreme moves. The same is true for shorts, which triggers market buys and cause squeezes or liquidation ladders to the upside. Theoretically, the only way to stop this extreme volatility is to regulate away the high leverage markets, but because they are global and in jurisdiction outside of regulatory reach, it is a challenge. Binance controls 90% of this market. They make extreme profits, but cause this extreme volatility to stimulate their leverage market. Spot buying and selling happens around this volatility and barely influences it. Okay, so you're telling me this is all just basically narrative driven, and then Binance is mucking the system. You remember early days when there was all those rumors about like Dingaling like secretly being a part of like Binance, and then he's just sweeping everything and never selling? Huh. GambleFi equals gamble. Kind of brilliant to add the fi at the end to brand it as something more interesting. Gambling was already 100% financialized before anyone added the fi at the end. So I had a thought. This might be a good one. So I'm at a hockey game, and I got the 50-50 tickets. And I'm like, am I gambling my $5 here, or am I making a donation? And is there some kind of way of me buying that 50-50 ticket and saying this is a donation? Can I use that same verbiage to everything I do in crypto? You know, like I'm donating to the you know, the miners, the root stakers. I'm donating every time I do anything. There might be a loophole there for some. That sounded like a good thought before I said it. Anyway, this is so wild to me. If you haven't seen, somebody today in the States set themselves on fire. Why? I don't know. But the notes that I guess they found from the person's blog was basically saying that the government controls all the cryptos. It was made to be like a Ponzi scheme, and stocks are about to crash, and so is crypto. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, we have the entire war situation. It was like, apparently everybody was retaliating, and now this morning they're all like, oh no, it's fine, everybody's all settled. You know, that was just saying, hey, we can do stuff. And we have this wild thing at the same time as the Bitcoin halving event. It all everything's crazy. What's going, guys? I'm trying to just sit here and watch the markets, but weird things are happening now. Sarah Sparky Bauman, founder of Women in Weapons, here apparently doing a custom for VeeFriends, just on a shoe, doing the black cat drawing. Amazing. Here's where my conspiracy and stuff kind of comes in. So we know that Futureverse has Reebok Impact. And if you go and look at December 6th of 2023 again, you know, 2-3 months ago, about the same time the announcement happened, another announcement of Reebok and VeeFriends introduced Accountable Ant classic nylon sneakers. Okay, so there's already a connection between VeeFriends and Reebok, and we know that Reebok Impact is coming and bringing big brands with it. So is VeeFriends a part of the Futureverse community too? That is my question. Now, as we go over, you can see this is kind of the original one here that was earlier in 2023 compared to the last ones. And it, you know, nothing like too crazy about it. It's got like this llama on it, and it's got like this kind of gray thing. And I'm just like scrolling, hanging out, having a good time, and I see these at the store. Okay? So, Maybe if I can put them side by side here, that would be best. Yes, that would be best. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or am I seeing the exact same shoe minus like the color style at my Winners for like $50? That's a VeeFriend exclusive. What is this shenanigans? That's crazy. And more shoes are coming. What the hell is this? Unboxing a new MGLA shoe by Soul Savvy and DP16. So apparently there was a shoe that was created based off of the MGLE branding of Top Shot packs. And this is what it looks like. All right, not bad. Interesting that somebody's trying to go with the IP there. That corner kind of reminds me of Dapper. You know how like or I guess maybe it's like Flow, how they have there's like little characters and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, what's going on with shoes and NFTs? This is crazy. NFTfi.com partnering with NFTX. Two trailblazers in NFT financialization are joining forces. Okay, cool. All the loan leverage players getting together. It's going to be good, right? There's going to be a pivot soon for NFTs where the people who primarily love collecting and hodl start winning. And hodl just means hold, you know? Some people like trading a lot. Some people just like holding, because new people will come in that share that passion and they will pay. The meta of frantically chasing the next meta will be less attractive and less rewarding. I feel like that last part is like not chasing the meta, not chasing that. Yeah, it's like a thing like all the time. But the people that usually chase it, like, you know, a couple of them end up doing all right. So, you know, phase and that probably nothing thing. Interesting conversation here from somebody who covers Call of Duty today, and I need to go back and rewatch the games of today, but he says this was FaZe Clan's last tweet over a month and a half ago. Their account has been radio silent and has lost over 15,000 followers. As an OG FaZe fan, I'm excited to see what they do, but I'm not sure what the vision is. So again, why is this relevant? Again, it seems like Banks is trying to get within the NFT Web3 community. Some people are like, you know, everybody's got different thoughts on the whole situation, but it is interesting that like FaZe has been radio silent on that front. Because does that mean, hey, big announcements are coming? Hey, is it just cleaning house and kind of average? But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Big news coming from Ink on BTC and Ordinals here. Caesar Eon has just committed $10 million in Ink on BTC, providing significant financial backing and industrial resources to support Ink's strategic initiatives and IP expansion plans. Okay, so this is an NFT collection, had a whole lot of hype. Still, you know, a lot of people think that it's amazing, and now they're getting 10 million. It's not from selling more NFTs. It's from somebody that thinks that, hey, this is going to be big. It's not about royalties, not about this. It does feel like the Ordinals communities overall are very much different than some of these other NFT ones. Bill Noble, the one and only. Guys, I watch Bill Noble on a daily, right? Oh my God. This guy woke up today and was like, I'm bullish. We're going to make it. It's great. And he's thinking next dip is in July. And highlighting here from Jesse Myers, Michael Saylor asked me to update this graphic more frequently. Here is Bitcoin, $1 trillion relative to the global asset landscape of 900 trillion. At just 0.1% of global asset value, Bitcoin still has plenty of room to grow. And then there's a chart here for anybody that's listening on audio where it shows, again, Bitcoin at 1 trillion in a little tiny square, gold much bigger at 12 trillion, art at 18 trillion, equities at 115 trillion, real estate 330 trillion, and a couple of other things within there, but it just shows kind of on the big grand scale how small Bitcoin's allocation of that pie is. Breaking Magic Eden to expand on base. So an NFT marketplace seeming to just connect to every freaking chain. Guys, when are we getting Magic Eden en route? What's going on? When are we doing it? So the other day, we had a whole lot of transfers going on. And I mean, a whole lot of transfers of a ton of capital. And then today, same thing, 100 million USDC went from the treasury of the USDC to Coinbase. And there's just some wild transactions. We're going to get into some of the Bitcoin stuff here in just a moment. But another thing from the NBA card market per se, I guess one of the Michael Jordan 1-of-1s is up to 1.22 million in bids. People are willing to bend. Okay, so here's a quick little breakdown of what's going on with runes for the TLDR. I still don't totally get it, to be honest, so I'm not like, you might be like, all right, Shell, you got me up until this point, and now I'm getting the hell out of here because this isn't it. But let me read this right quick, and some of the runes have been absolutely flying on secondary. Okay, it's obvious from the comments that most people don't understand the significance of what's happening tonight. So let me give you a TLDR. In about 5 hours, essentially for the first time, people will be able to create meme coins on Bitcoin. There will be hundreds of tickers created, thousands. When someone creates a new coin, they can either keep all or part of that supply to distribute later, or they can make it actively claimable on the network. The pre-runes that you've been buying as ordinals will be the former. Creators will airdrop the runes to holders, but many runes created tonight will be new and the latter. Imagine hundreds of thousands of free to claim, except for the network fees, meme coins going live on Bitcoin at the same time, all first come, first serve. That's what's happening in a few hours. To mint new runes while supply is available, you need OTXOs. Think of a UTXO like a small bag of change in your pocket. The more bags of change you have, the more runes you can mint at a time. So if you have 1 Bitcoin in your wallet, instead of having one big bag with 1 Bitcoin in it, you'd prefer to have 40 little bags with 0.025 Bitcoin as an example. To do this, you have to split your UTXOs and can do this with the tools like Luminix. Okay, I have no friggin' idea what's going on. I still don't get roots. Apparently, it's a moon and it's great, and you're going to make it if you bought it, and fantastic. But oh my goodness, I have no idea what the hell's going on. And if you do, feel free to give me a little bit of a TLDR. Feel free to hit me up in the DMs. But apparently, CyberKongs is the one that cooked up a little something special tonight. How he created history and etched decentralized rune number 2. First off, we put forward a considerable amount for the culture, for Providence, for the journey, everything Prometheans represent. No fees seized, no exchange funds, no capital raise, just good heart and American power. I'm just kidding, going off a random rant there. Okay, but anyway, if you want to read that, CyberKongs got number 2 here. Going over apparently, which is Prometheans, but Runestone secured runes number 3, and RSIC secured runes number 8, and the pups got number 13. Again, apparently you've made it. That's fantastic. Love to see it. But Casey is saying, a reminder to all degens, runes, ordinals, and inscriptions are a fun sideshow. Bitcoin is the main event. Stay humble. Stack sats. That's it. There was nothing else that was going on there. That is it for this edition of XFeed. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, a lot of stuff coming out through the Futureverse ecosystem. We'll be very excited to see once we get the Third Kingdom. We have obviously open this material world. If all of this stuff is broad and expansive, it's very exciting to see, us trying to push forward kind of like a positive spirit. Usually on the timeline, it's like constantly doom and gloom over X, Y, and Z. And I hope that you guys aren't ever like, damn, check out Schiller's stream and he's talking about something that's boring. I'm not excited to be here. Listen, if that ever happens to you, you tell me and we'll shake up the show a little bit. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you're wanting to help support the stream, if you happen to want to subscribe on Twitch or YouTube, we have the join button on YouTube, and then Twitch. You guys know how to do that. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to like the video if you've enjoyed this, and I will see you on Monday.